This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined once again by Al Siesta from Siesta Boxing. How are you, Al?
I'm very well, Rob. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. Always a pleasure to sit down with you. Been a couple of months since we've done this.
Yes, it's been a couple of months already. Incredible. Yeah, I'm here. Let's talk.
Time flies in boxing. So, what have you been up to? Last time I spoke to you was before the Battle of Bracknell. Luther Clay came through well against Garrido.
Yes, correct. Luther done really well. He fought Garrido. Probably some people seen it on TV. I'm not sure, maybe on our YouTube channel. Yeah, he's done very well. I'm pleased. He could have done better. He learned from this, but it's okay. It's nice. Garrido's a tough guy, very entertaining, a lovely individual, lovely guy, but Luther done really well. I felt he could have done a bit better, but next time.
How much of that do you think is down to experience? Luther is somebody who is still about a dozen fights into his professional career, so he's still got a lot of learning to do. Garrido is somebody who is, he's tried and tested, he's battle hardened. It was a tough fight towards the end of the fight for Luther. How much do you think he'll learn from that moving forward?
I think Luther needs some more fights. His experience slightly limited because due to amateur background, he only had a handful of amateur fights, but had great training, had some good international camps. So I think every fight he is learning. And Garrido was a great stepping stone, but nothing that Luther couldn't handle. I actually felt that when I've been matching the fight, that Luther could have done much better than that. But he's done okay. And he knows all the mistakes that he had in that fight. So he made it harder, that fight, than it's supposed to be originally. But I think he knows that, and its next fight going to be better. Yeah, Garrido was a great opponent, by the way. Great learning, kind of step-up opponent. Some people were skeptical, by the way, saying that it's too early, but I felt it's just about the right time.
So when can we see Luther Clay back in the ring again? As I understand it, you've just announced a new show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
29th of September, Bracknell Leisure Centre, Bracknell Boxing Carnival. A bit of a funny poster. People saying it looks a bit like Halloween, which is, I didn't think of it at the time. Not a Russian celebration. We don't have Halloween, so I completely missed that one. But Luther will be fighting Yahya Toulouzi. He's a French fighter, very durable. And there's another stepping stone. 13 wins, 13 wins, 3 losses and 3 draws. Very durable guy, but Luther should do very well, I'm hoping. So that's the next show. Also some Nick Webb is on the card. Naylor Ball, who else? Derek Renfrew, Rowan Date, Aaron Collins. Maybe I'm forgetting someone. Who else is on the card? It's good local card, great card. I'll match it comprehensively, so they've got tough fights. Not necessarily 50-50s, but maybe 40-60. And it should be good. Should be good. Everyone welcome. Tickets priced accordingly. And it should be a great night. Saturday, 29th of September, 2018.
I like that you put the year in there because actually this did actually happen to me the other day. Quite often I do forget what day it is because I'm quite tired. I actually forgot what year it was the other day. So thanks for reminding me about that.
That's okay, no problem.
What else have you been up to? You've announced a few new signings. I've seen a few press releases come my way. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your new men added to your roster?
Yes, I've got a couple new men. I like my African fighters. Zakaria Lucas from Namibia, WBO number 2. A contender for some sort of mandatory or eliminator, which we're trying to arrange at the moment. I can't announce because it's still in negotiations. And also Ludumo Lamati from South Africa, very talented fighter, unbeaten. So is Zakaria Lucas, and he's coming on Monday. He'll be living in Bracknell and training in Bracknell together with the Luther's team, and I'm looking forward to do some work with him. So that's my new signings, and they're welcome to Siesta Boxing, and Siesta Boxing fans and followers, and in general boxing people. We'll see them very soon.
Tell me a little bit about the process of scouting these guys out. You are a Russian by way of Southampton, and you've signed 2 South African fighters.
One Namibian, one South African.
One Namibian, one South African. I beg your pardon.
No. I've got a few South Africans actually, yes, correct.
So tell me a little bit about how the process of scouting these fighters out and what you have to offer them to come and join you so far away from their homeland. And you are a Russian based in Southampton. Why would they come and sign with you? Tell me about the process.
I'll be honest with you, because I do lots of matchmaking, and I learned box rec I pretty much know that off by heart. I'm only kidding, but it's like a Bible for me. So, and I also communicate with lots of fighters. I've got direct access to their managers or promoters or fighters themselves. I talk to foreign fighters 24/7. So time to time I hear that someone is free of contract or someone I like the style, and I think he's been misrepresented, or he could be much in better position than he currently is or at. So I would offer my services sometimes, or I'm not lying, I'm bigging myself up. Most of the fighters are offering themselves, Al, can we work with you? I'm a good man, and whoever knows me in boxing, they know my character. I'm a man of honor. If I said I'll do something for you, I'll lay my life on the line to deliver that. And that's the most important thing in boxing. The effort is most important, and the results will come. So African men, they've got big hearts. They feel the brother, you know. So that's what I feel. Maybe that's the connection, you know. I do scout all over Ukraine, Russia, African continents, France, Spain. I'm starting to work with English fighters. I'm due to obtain English manager's license, and I do believe I'm going to have a great stable because I know exactly what UK fighters need.
Now, the first time I caught up with you was probably about, well, I think it was early this year. It was February this year, where you were sort of just starting to make your move, as it were, into boxing in a promotional point of view, and obviously you're managing and matchmaking. Tell me a little bit about how 2018 has progressed for you. How are you in a position now that you weren't in when I did that first interview? We did it in a hotel lobby in Manchester. How is Siesta Boxing? How have you progressed since then?
I'm not quite sure, because I tell you honestly, by 2016, I had like my wrist bridges already, and I worked with David Avanesyan, and they both world champions and stuff. So I achieved a lot in the first 2 years of me coming to boxing. It was like catapulting, going literally with a rocket, like with the speed of light. No one expected that, neither me, neither the fighters I worked with, because I just literally lay everything on the line. My life was on achieving the results. I had lots of skeptics saying that I will not be able to deliver, I will not be able to do that because, Al, you're a new man in boxing, you need this and this and this and that. But they didn't realize behind the scenes amount of time I put on networking, learning about the sport, learning about the business, and understanding the core, the aura of sport, which I need to understand. And it's very similar to show business. And I'm a musical producer and promoter for 25 years before. So this is very similar. And the fighters is the same as an artist. They all think that they're better than they are normally, and they want everything right now. So it's very similar business. So, but in terms of 2018, I've got a bit more understanding of how it needs to be done, a bit more experience basically. But I'm not stopping. I'm moving forward. I want to do regular shows, big plans. There are some partnerships in line that I'm thinking to tie together basically. So everything is good. I'm progressing, moving forward. New fighters signed, still love boxing unconditionally, still through and through boxing man, it's there. Yeah, so it's good, man. It's 2018 as positive to 2017, I'd say. Not worth.
Oh, well,
Not
that's
worse,
good.
sorry.
Not worse, that's okay. I understand you're still adjusting to the English language. So, moving away from yourself, I could sit here all day and talk about you, Al. I'm sure you could as well. Tell me a little bit about what's been going on in boxing. It's always good for me to pick your brain, as it were, as somebody who's sort of behind the scenes, a mover and a shaker. Wilder Fury. Tell me a little bit about that. That fight seemingly came out of nowhere in the kind of absence of a deal between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Your thoughts on that fight and how it came to pass?
My thoughts, I'll be honest. I want to be completely impartial. I don't want to kind of manifest my love to matchroom sports or reservations towards Queensberry promotions or whatever. I mean, I treat equally. I love Tyson Fury, by the way. Anthony Joshua is a genius fighter. I think Wilder right now is a bad fight for Anthony Joshua. No one can convince me otherwise. And everyone knows that it's a dangerous fight, and Anthony is on the way up. He's a very strong fighter. He's got great fights. He's got more earning days than him, I do believe. And maybe Wilder needs to become a bigger fighter overall to face Anthony Joshua. And I think whatever's happening now, working out perfectly for Matchroom Sports. Tyson Fury, whatever he's doing, he's very unpredictable, very talented, very maverick guy. I will not be surprised if he beats Wilder. He is so technical. He didn't give away much against Pianetta. That was like a try. You can see that was like a sparring kind of fight. It was very easy for him. He did whatever. He could do anything in that ring. People say that he looked horrible. I saw beyond that. He looks actually quite good in that fight, I thought. And Deontay Wilder saw in Tyson Fury a very technical fighter, and he knows he's quite limited, so he has to ban him out. It's a very, very good fight. I don't care about how much money they're going to get paid. I know one thing, that the winner of this fight will earn Anthony Joshua a lot of money, which is brilliant. It works perfectly for Joshua, whatever's happening now. Do you understand? That's my opinion. So, Eddie being lucky again, I love it. You know, he's a good man. He works very hard, and Matchroom is a great. I love the company. I treat them as my family, and I'm really, really pleased for them, because whatever going to happen in the Wilder Fury fight is going to benefit them.
In your role as matchmaker, you've just referred to Tyson Fury's fight with Francesco Pianetta. He fought Sefer Seferi before that. In your opinion as a matchmaker, if you're making Tyson Fury's matches, do you put him in with Deontay Wilder next in either November or December?
I need to see him in the gym. I need to see him sparring. He had a great physically. The presence was great, 10 rounds. He didn't even puff out. He had the interview, like you saw that for yourself. So physically, he's definitely ready. Is he ready mentally? I don't know Tyson Fury. I don't know mechanism behind his psychology. And a very intelligent guy. I don't know. We don't know where Wilder is. Maybe Wilder is exhausted. Maybe that was, I don't know. He's in a good place. I'm not sure. I would have potentially one more fight for Tyson Fury. But if he wants to take fight now, why not? But it never will materialize before next year, probably, or maybe December. He still have time to reflect, go to the gym, sparring with others. People saying he can't forget how to box for 1 year or 2 years. I know myself, I'm a pianist, used to be a pianist. Take me 15 minutes and I'm back on it. So it's fine. Physically, he's perfect. Weight-wise, 5 kilograms, 2 kilograms out is nothing. So why not? Why not? Great for fans. Let's have it now.
Something else I wanted to pick your brain on. Much has been made. I sat down with Shelley Finkel and we had a conversation. And I'm not privy to a lot of... I don't know about the business side of boxing. I'm a boxing fan, not a businessman. Is it common for fights to be offered or fights to be accepted with no date and venue for the fight?
Very common. I have the fight like this for Zakaria Lucas at the moment. I spoke to someone big in the industry. We're trying to arrange eliminator. We're trying to speak about some for the position number one of the governing bodies. And I don't know neither date nor a venue of the fight. But I know that fight, we should secure the fight, find the agreement, and we in consensus, we look at the venues, even we look at the purses. We don't even know purses yet. So ultimately, we want to make that fight. It's very common. It's nothing out of ordinary, believe me.
So in that instance, a fight would it be a verbal agreement? Would you discuss purses? Would you do the numbers?
Apologizing for interrupting. You have some sort of commitment letter first that we want to make that fight and we committed and we're exclusively communicating on making that fight. We like the idea of the fight and we take it from there. Then the legal teams will put logistics in place, all legalities. Then obviously purses. If there's a rematch clause or whatever it is, it's very common, very common. There's nothing, no one can tell me, oh, you offered the fight, but I didn't know where that will take place. No, it's not valid enough reason to say that the fight is not valid, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so just for confirmation, so Wilder Fury being on, but without no date and venue, the fight is still on. That's very common, that's not uncommon.
That's not uncommon, I'd say. That's not uncommon, yeah. They will finalize that. The fight is there. If the fight will not materialize, is not necessarily because they don't have the venue or the date. That is such a mundane thing. That's not even important. That will be because they didn't agree the purses or terms, not the venue and the date, trust me.
So to me, from the outside looking in, it would seem that probably purses would be the first thing that you get sorted out, but that's not the case from what you're saying.
Yes, process will be. There's a second question. Do you want to fight Rob Tebbutt? Yes, I do. How much are you going to get paid? That's question number 2, normally. And I think they discussed the figures, probably. And you just asked me specifically about the venue and the date. And that is not important at the moment. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, well, thanks for clearing that up. And you don't have enough money to fight me. Just
We're going to go to purse bids.
we'll go to purse bids, yeah. Somebody would have to pay a lot of money to get me in a ring. Last time we sat down and spoke, Anthony Joshua and Alexander Povetkin were kind of tying up the loose ends on their deal. That fight has now been made at Wembley Stadium, September the 22nd. Now the fight's been made. Your thoughts on that fight?
Great question, thank you. I said to Paul Rady, the matchmaker of Matchroom Sports, I said, Paul, I feel not well about this fight. He goes, why? I said, I don't know, something doesn't sit right because everyone looking past Povetkin. I know Povetkin is in a great shape. I know who's sparring in his camp. He is very, literally dangerous right now. So I know that Joshua takes this fight super seriously. Everyone knows this is the strongest opponent to date that Anthony had, the most dangerous one, much more dangerous than anyone else. This is the fight that potentially can change the world in terms of complexity and architecture of where Matchroom will progress, or even the zone, or what's going to happen with Wilder, so on and so forth. So this is the primary attention that needs to be required from everyone, really. This is the main fight right now. I favor Joshua, but this is very dangerous for him. I hope he doesn't watch the interview. I don't want to be like neuro-linguistic programmist who suddenly make Anthony Joshua uncomfortable. But Povetkin is a serious draw and a serious score. That man knows he's a game man. I like that word. Everyone using a game, game. He's a game. Povetkin is the game. Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit about it then. Do you think there is any chance that with all of the talk of Deontay Wilder, now Tyson Fury is fighting Deontay Wilder, I think Eddie Hearn has been on record and said that he feels that some of that talk and that hyperbole will be kind of in Anthony Joshua's mind when he's certainly preparing or when he steps in the ring with Povetkin. Do you think there will be any element of that? Does he need to guard against that kind of thinking when he goes in there against Povetkin?
No. Joshua's team are very professional, very cautious, very careful. He is fully on Povetkin's fight because he knows this is the hard fight. No one cares about Fury right now, Deontay Wilder. Alexander Povetkin is the man in front of him. And this is the very, very important fight. I can't wait to get to that. Yeah, incredible. That will be incredible. The way Povetkin cuts the distance is invincible. It's like knife going through the butter, so Joshua needs to be really careful on that.
Another fight that takes place the week before that. Canelo and Golovkin face off in a rematch. I know you're a big boxing man. I know you'll be watching the fight closely. Who do you favour in that match?
Triple G. The reason why I favor him, he won the first fight for me. It wasn't comfortable. The reason why it wasn't fireworks, because Canelo was unusually careful, very cautious, very defensive. That's not Canelo's style. People saying now he felt Golovkin's power, he will go forward. Bollocks. He felt Golovkin's power. That's why he's going to be fighting exactly the same style. It will be slicker, will not engage. And Golovkin felt now the slickness of Canelo, that Canelo has the ability. And I do believe this will be a similar fight or possibly going to points. If there's a stoppage, the stoppage is going to go to Golovkin. If Canelo will knock Golovkin out, this is phenomenal. Beautiful. But I do fancy Golovkin still. Next year, maybe. But I do fancy Golovkin. Although I know lots of people, they fancy Canelo, and many people want Canelo to win. They want Triple G to lose his O and vacate the crown, middleweight crown. They want him to move on.
Do you think the subsequent rescheduling after Canelo failed the doping test, do you think that's taken any of the shine off the rematch? Or do you think, I mean, these guys have, in the last couple of weeks, they're talking like they weren't talking before the first fight. There seems to be genuine animosity because of that. But do you think that initial cancellation of the rematch and the doping, has it lost momentum, or do you think it's added something to it?
It lost momentum. It lost momentum. If you wouldn't remind me now, we spoke about Povetkin Joshua, I wouldn't remember. I would remember about Golovkin Canelo 100%, Never remembered about this fight. I literally forgot. I don't think, oh, I really need to watch that. Forgot. And that's me, man. This is my, the boxing pays my bill and my children eat because of that, and I forgot about this fight.
If the fight goes the distance, I mean, again, you're somebody, I like to pick your brain because you're somebody who sees the other side of the sport. Is there any element or risk on Golovkin's part of potential, don't know the word to use here, controversial scoring?
Definitely, 100%. We've seen it. We've seen it with Najib Mohammadi against Fedor Chudinov. I could not believe, listen, this is the weirdest feeling, be in front of the arena of 20,000, seeing your fights are robbed like this, and you feel so small and absolutely helpless. Everyone roaring and booing, but nothing you can do. That just shows that how unruly and ungoverned the sport that we're in. But I don't want to expand on that because the sport is paying my bill and I need to be highly respectful. So you understand what I'm saying, yeah? That could happen to Gennady Golovkin as well.
I understand that, but I'm going to pull at the thread because I'm a journalist. Is it inept judging? Is it judging that's not up to standard? Are these people seeing fights wrong, or is it quote unquote corruption?
Corruption, 100%. There's no way. I've seen few judges who literally don't know what they're doing. But otherwise, how can you not see that this man beating other man, dominating, and then you give the decision other way? How is that possible? Blind? Do you understand what I'm saying? Definitely corruption. But I don't want to expand on that because, again, there's reason behind that. Many people involved in sport, many people feed off the sport. And maybe sometimes you need to be cruel to be kind. Maybe this decision in the long term will bring maybe this fighter is more financially viable or has more value for the future, matching or whatever. It could be a million concepts. The architecture is so complex. You just need to be trying to move on just beyond one fight. Why this guy didn't win or didn't get the decision is much more complex than that. And I appreciate and understand that, but it was really weird for me to be on the other end of this, being in the ring so lonely there. Oh my God, I'm just raising my hands. I'm saying, what the fuck is going on? And nothing you can do. And I was thinking, where is the supervisor? Oh yeah, and supervisor goes, what's happened there? I don't know. And no one knows. Who knows? God knows.
What do you think? I mean, you mentioned it. Boxing, it's kind of like the Wild West of the sporting world. We don't have a governing body that oversees the governing bodies, as it were. We don't have...
Thank you very much. What a clever... You're a real boxer, man. That's what we're really, really lacking that. There need to be all-seeing eye, overseeing all governing bodies, completely independent. I am against referees and judges being assigned by the governing body. It needs to be independent coalition or association of people who understand boxing very well, who can referee and judge, who could decide tomorrow you're doing WBC fight, or tomorrow you're doing WBO fight, or IBF. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Literally, are they not paid by the promoter? They paid independently. The source of income for supervisors, judges and referees should come from somewhere else. And believe me, we've got enough funding to run that. But the question is, does it need to be a government organization? Or does it need to be a coalition of the government sport? Do you understand what I'm saying? This sport is private sport, professional sport, but we've got FIFA, football, the governing body. We need something in boxing. But then people are going to say, oh, look at the Siesta dickhead. He feeds off this sport. He loves boxing. He's a nice guy, but suddenly now he's talking like this only because I'm getting pissed off. But I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I love boxing and I want to be in boxing for a long time. And I love all the governing bodies. Mauricio Suleiman is my brother. Do you understand? Maurice Bridges was a WBC champion. These guys are working really hard. We all understand that this sport needs something, but we all feed our families because of this. Do you understand? This is the very hard game. This comes to the original concept of human conscience. And unfortunately, this sport is based on the secondary instinct and the primary instinct, actually. Survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest, indeed. How likely? Because that's something that the sport, in my opinion, desperately needs.
Yeah.
How likely do you think that is to ever happen in boxing, that we do get a quote-unquote independent overseeing governing body that really keeps everybody in check and makes sure, bad scoring and plenty of other issues that we have in the sport, doping, for example.
Policing.
So how likely do you think that is to ever happen in boxing? Or is it got to a point where boxing is so entrenched in, not necessarily corruption, but the way things are, that it's just never going to change?
It's been like this for very, very many years. And it's gagging for something like that. I want to say craving, but that's not a strong enough word. Needs someone very powerful who doesn't need money, has lots of conscience. Like I've always been saying, put lots and very rich people who love boxing into governing bodies, then they don't need bribes. They have everything. They're rich people. Let them, just understand what I'm saying. And people do lots of philanthropical work like UNESCO and things like that. But I don't know. Someone needs to come up with the money. Someone needs to, it's a big feeding campaign in terms of, it's a complex organism that needs to pay wages, rules and regulations, meetings. You can imagine, it's a big structure. It's like European Parliament, but in boxing, or World Parliament, I don't know. Complex, but it really needs it. I fully agree with you. We are in massive need of something like this, because otherwise things like what happened to Najib Mohammadi will be reoccurring again and again and again. You can't get your mandatory, or they suddenly really weird new name in the rating. Who the fuck is this guy? I never seen this before. Where is he? Oh, he's a 255 in box break. What the fuck is he doing in top 15? You know what I mean? Or he's been number 15, now he's number 3. Who did he fight in between? No. My brothers, I love you all, no problem. I'm just saying this is crazy. But anyway, yeah.
We didn't name any names. I think we're both quite safe.
No, it's fine. Listen, otherwise, as well, I understand. If I have the money as a promoter and I'm offering you the fight, you the fight, next promoter doesn't have the finance to run. We all need to survive. And I'm a governing body. I'm saying, let's give these people opportunity. They want to pay for it. It's understandable. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, but they're all good people, though. They all trying. We're all trying, because there's lots of loopholes in the sport. Need more governing. One thing about rating, I think the belts need to have more sense, need to make more sense. If you fight for something like IBF Intercontinental, for example, I would expect to be in top 15 of IBF after I won the title. So WBC International Silver, International. Do you understand what I'm saying? I must admit, WBO and WBA, if you fought for the belt and you won, you'll be expected to be in top 15 rating, which is not the case with IBF, because I think their criteria is a bit different, and the secondary judgment come to place. Lots to improve. I go to conventions, and I'm always thinking, it's like I was talking about politics, or when Bob Marley started to sing about politics. People start laughing, you're not cool anymore, and thinking, who's that loose cannon? Shut the fuck up. Come on, man. Stop it. Let's just do business. Be quiet. You understand? I understand. Everyone is like this. So I'll shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Okay, let's move on.
Okay, well, we're actually coming to the end of the card now. So, Al Siesta,
yes.
Always a pleasure sitting down with you.
Note, by the way. Yeah.
Positive note, you've got less than 1 minute.
Yeah.
Because we're going to run out of time. Camera shuts off after half an hour. Give me 30 seconds of your best before we say goodbye. Before
29th of September, Bracknell Leisure Centre, let's call it differently, Everyone Active Arena, yeah? Siesta Boxing Show, great card, will be televised. Everyone welcome in Surrey, Berkshire, Hampshire area. Whoever wants to come as well, welcome. Love you all, guys. Love you all. Want to work with you all. No pasaran. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Al Siesta, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Take care, my man.